Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is June the 30th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm not doing so well, but we're making the most of the day. Hopefully, you yourself got that lasagna. I didn't exactly make it through the line today, but hey, there's always next week, right? Let's go ahead and chop it up. Let's talk about it. So, we did not hit the ground running. We hit the ground fumbling today. I woke up. And I would kind of say I slept okay. It was intermittent. I fell asleep too early, then woke up in the middle of the night. Actually, around the time I woke up, the power went out again for a second. So I'm like, okay, great. I'm loving all this stormy fucking weather, right? It's just doing wonders for me and mine. But the power did come back on. Wi-Fi came back on. So I kind of was just like, whatever. I set up for like an hour or two, went back to sleep. I wake up, for work, wake up for the day, and I go to the kitchen, I think, I was getting some coffee. I was getting coffee ready. And I noticed that everything is warm. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I noticed that the whole refrigerator's out, the freezer's out, but it's running. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. That's odd. I guess maybe the power went out longer than I thought it did. Maybe it went out multiple times and I just didn't notice. I don't know. I was very confused. And I was like, all right, well, it's TikTok. I gotta get to work. I gotta get going. So I tried to do a circuit breaker reset and, I was out the door. Now I was dreading this the whole time. Y'all know I just did grocery shopping. I'm really not trying to take this loss here. Like, this would be a whole setback. And I was nervous about it. I was anxious about it all day. And I proceed to go on my break back home to check on it, to say, like, hey, I mean, if everything's good, things should be cooler in the refrigerator for sure. If not, I know I'm screwed. I know screwed's maybe a strong word, but that's how I'm feeling, right? So, I make the drive and I get home. And sure enough, it's not working. It's still blowing nothing, just blowing hot air at this point, it seems. So I'm very upset. I'm just like, oof, like my blood's getting cold. I wind up calling my landlord. And at this point, it's around, 3:30 or so. They proceed to tell me, okay, we will be out there sometime tomorrow to either repair it and or get you a new refrigerator. And I know I'm toast. That means I know that my groceries, all the stuff in the refrigerator. Luckily, I only had a thing of new chicken, but it's a new thing of chicken in the freezer. And I just proceed to lose my mind. Like, I go to this very angry place, and I'm not proud of myself for this at all. I don't like losing my temper like that. I don't like losing my temper, period. It's a temper tantrum. There's no other way to really word it, what I do when I'm like that, And so, I'm yelling expletives. I dart back up to the house with just like a sense of just menace. And I proceed to just waylay on my refrigerator. And, it felt good for a flash of a second, a hot flash of a second. And afterwards, I noticed, okay, well, we got our dent in. That's cool. But your hand hurts a lot, it seems. And that hand pain has, like, evolved into a wrist pain. And to the point where I can't even really close my hand without pain or really do much of anything with it without pain. So I'm not happy about that. A little upset with myself in the situation in that regard. I really have no one else to blame but myself on that. But so went back to work with my hand throbbing. After work, we go to the gym. And I guess maybe I even got lucky with the fact that the Smith machine was taken up, because it just kept getting like worse and worse, the pain. And lucky it was a maintenance day, so we got through it the best we could. Then I proceeded to get some ice. I luckily, if longtime listeners remember, had the cooler from a last big power outage we had. I think it was a year or two ago. So we got some ice, and we tried to just save what we could and chuck the rest. I mean, when I really look at it and I cost the damage, I'm probably not out too much money, but I think, and this isn't me making excuses. At the end of the day, I got to own my feelings. I got to own my mistakes for sure. But y'all know I already had a breakdown about this month. This month was already hard. It was already uphill. I was at a point where I just wanted to get through it. I felt blessed that I had a really good weekend to kind of at least rinse my mouth out of this fucking month, right? So to have this happen, like, in a way, I'm kind of glad that this isn't disrupting my July in a way. I mean, hopefully, knock on wood, not with this hand, but, hopefully there's no problems in July. But, like, I just was beyond myself, and I just lost my temper. I lost myself in that moment. And I don't know, y'all. I'm hoping I can just do better personally. I always want to try to grow from these moments and not come back to them. And I really hope that July is just better. I do not want to keep having like a shit summer, or you know what I mean, or a zigzaggy up down summer. Fuck that shit. You know what? I'm officially writing off June. This is the second June back to back that I've had problems, y'all. Like I'm over it. I'm so to the brim with June. So June, you're on my shit list. Boo! I'm throwing the whole month to Tomato Town. I'm done with it. Done with it. But yeah, I mean, we move. I'm really hoping that hopefully by tomorrow, at least the pain goes down in my hand, my wrist, and I can just be functional. Maybe silver linings is my back was still hurting a little bit, but thanks to dear old pain displacement, I really don't notice. It's kind of all in the wrist right now. Anyway, enough of me bemoaning my day, my precious little life, which I gotta say, if we took the refrigerator out of it, if we just clipped that out, edited it out, boop, gone away, this would have been a good day. I really do truly believe that, and I'm trying to remind myself about that as I, traverse through it. This was a salvageable day. I just kind of made it as worse as I could with my attitude, with my temper, and I gotta work on that. Anyway, that's gonna be the personal news, the bloggy stuff. Let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into some news, some real news. There's real problems in the world. I mean, granted, me not having my chicken and veg is important. I'd say it's relevant to me, but there's other things we gotta get into for sure. Oh boy. Also, I had to do a little wrap job on my hand. It looks very terrible. Okay. From ABC News. 82-year-old woman dies from injury suffered in Boulder Molotov cocktail attack. Now, this is an update. An 82-year-old woman hurt in the Molotov cocktail attack in Boulder, Colorado, has died, prosecutors announced, as they updated an attempted murder charge to a murder charge. Karen Diamond died tragically as a result of severe injuries that she suffered on June 1st, the Boulder County District Attorney's Office said. She's the only person to die from the attack. Let's see here. Let's see. We'll just kind of scroll forward to kind of do a whole little recap real quick. On June 1st, Soliman allegedly threw Molotov cocktails at a group of marchers who were advocating for the release of Israeli hostages outside the Boulder courthouse. More than a dozen people were injured. Soliman allegedly yelled "Free Palestine" during the attack, which he told police he was planning for 1 year. Soliman allegedly told police he wanted to kill all Zionist people. He also allegedly said this had nothing to do with the Jewish community, and it was specific in the Zionist group supporting the killings of people on his land, Palestine. Let's see here. And then I wanted to close this part. State charges against Soliman include first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and first-degree assault, prosecutor said. Suleiman's preliminary hearing is in the state case is set for July 15th. So that is ongoing. I do want to add, though, as we segue through with Israel and Gaza and also West Bank, I believe the killings, especially the killings related to like the aid, has gone up to like 72. And I don't just mean like in total, I mean over the weekend. Just like, I guess like the final total number up until now, just from that little span alone. And then I think also there was just some more details that came out about the West Bank settler attack and how like massive that was. So yeah, I mean, I do feel like it's important to talk about both of those stories. But yes, let me move on to the next story from CNN. What we know about Wes Roley, the 20-year-old suspect in the Idaho fire shooting. The suspect, who police believe killed 2 firefighters Sunday after igniting a brush fire in Idaho with a flint fire starter, wanted to pursue a career as a firefighter himself, his grandfather told CNN. Wes Roley, 20, was identified by a law enforcement official as the suspect in the shooting in Coeur d'Alene. Why is this a name in Idaho? Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which left 2 firefighters responding to the blaze dead and injured a third. Authorities said Roley was found dead at the scene and appears to have shot himself. Roley's grandfather, Dale Roley, told CNN his grandson came from a family of arborists and had been working in the tree service industry while trying to figure out his career path. Police say Wes Roley opened fire on the first responders from a tree, citing extensive experience climbing with his family. His motives remain unknown and no manifesto has been found. He wanted to be a fireman. He was doing tree work, and he wanted to be a fireman in the forest, Dale Roley said. As far as I know, he was actually pursuing it. Wes Roley owned a shotgun and a long rifle, his grandfather said. Investigators are confident that the shotgun was used in the Sunday attack, but have stopped short of ruling out additional firearms. Dale Roley said he typically spoke with his grandson on a weekly basis, but they hadn't spoken in the last month because Wes Roley lost his phone. He said the suspect had loving family and friends, and he vacationed in Hawaii with his mother last year, according to social media posts. It appeared that Wes Roley was living out of his vehicle, which remains on the scene and had not been inventoried. Or at least it's not been inventoried. It wasn't like he was a loner, Dale Roley told CNN. We had no reason to suspect that he would be involved in something like this. He said he was holding out hope that his grandson wasn't actually the shooter. Let's see here. Scrolling through a couple of details here. 2 former Arizona classmates. Also, he did spend some time in California as well. I guess he moved around a little bit. That's probably I kind of skipped there. He ran track at a high school in Arizona and was a member of the school's class of 2024. Let's see here. 2 former Arizona classmates of Roley's painted a picture of a struggling student who occasionally lashed out in anger. Sadly, that is relatable. He could be friendly at times, they said, but was seclusive from his peers. A 3rd former classmate described Roley as verbally aggressive, but echoed that he had the means to be friendly and fun. Damn, that is also relatable. He would make us laugh so hard, the classmate said. They would play with airsoft guns and video games, but sometimes it was difficult to play with him. You would take him in doses. Court documents show that Roley had a tumultuous family life growing up. His mother filed for divorce in 2015, in September, when her son was 10 years old, and wrote in court documents that her husband threatened her, pushed her to the ground, and punched several holes in the walls. He threatened to sit outside my house with a sniper rifle or burn my house down. Let's see. A judge granted a protective order preventing Roley's father from having contact with his son or his wife, but later amended the order to remove the son after his father wrote in a court filing, "I am not a danger to my son or anyone else," and that his wife did not tell the truth in her statement. Let's see. Just going ahead again. The suspect himself had no criminal history, officials said. However, law enforcement in Kootenai County, Idaho, had minor interactions with him 5 times. Let's see here. Roley's father told a CNN reporter outside his home in Priest River, Idaho, that he wasn't close with his son and hadn't seen him since a family gathering last year. He didn't respond to follow-up phone calls about the decade-old allegations in the court documents. The suspect's mother also didn't answer phone calls Monday morning. So there we go. Don't know much about any kind of political affiliations, though. I mean, sometimes you can argue with the shootings. Does it really matter? Like, at this point, it seemed like he kind of had maybe a one track here, and he wasn't on track for hitting that, and he lashed out this way. I don't know. That's just me doing speculation. Who can say? But I did see like a picture, I think, with his mother and stepfather. I might be wrong there, with like MAGA hats. But like at this point, you could be conservative, you could be liberal, you could be an independent. We've seen shooters of all 3 stripes. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, I really don't hang my hat on that too much. For me, I mean, y'all know where I stand on gun rights and, you know, the changes I would like to maybe make to it. But it just kind of is what it is at this point. I don't really like debating or, you know, bemoaning it. Obviously, it's an unfortunate thing, you know. 3 people died. You had 2 people who died in the line of duty trying to fight a fucking fire that was set by the 3rd person who kills them and takes their life. And that's just what that is at this point. There's really not, I don't know if we're going to get much of a conclusion outside of this. I imagine maybe we might come back for some more details here or there, but not much to really change the story, I would think. So, but yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Condolences to the families, all the people involved. But yeah, there is a breaking news story that kind of just happened as I was like setting up. So I was like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's chop it up. From USA Today. Brian Kohberger accepts plea deal in Idaho college student murders, reports say. Also, I'm realizing we're having a double dose of Idaho. I just realized that now. 2 potatoes. Brian Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022, has accepted a plea deal in the case that would spare him from the death penalty, according to the Idaho Statesman and Fox News. Kohberger, 30, is charged in the murders of Madison Mogan, 21, Kaylee Gonclaves, 21, Zina Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20. The 4 were found stabbed to death, in the rental house close to the University of Idaho campus on November 13th, 2022. Kohberger was arrested in late December of that year after the town of Moscow, and that's Moscow, Idaho, was put on edge over the killings and lack of a suspect for weeks. According to ABC News, citing a letter to the victims' family members informing them of the plea deal, Kohberger agreed to plead guilty to all the counts in the killings of the 4 students. The reported move to plead guilty comes weeks ahead of the upcoming trial in the case. Kohberger will be sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences and waives all rights to appeal. So I mean, I imagine we might come once again back for some more details to kind of really just, you know, close this up. But yeah, that's probably the best move for Kohberger. I felt like this was a pretty open and shut case. Like, I don't think there were that many holes. I think really the big part of this was actually tracking down Kohberger and arresting him. You know what I mean? They were really chasing down the leads. They really, like, you know, gathering all the evidence. There was that long time that we weren't like who is this guy? Where is, like, his, you know, like, do you guys have an actual lead on him? They were playing shit close to the chest, so we really didn't know. And then, you know, after his arrest, we weren't sure how he was gonna really, you know, fight the case. You know, how was he gonna defend himself? So yeah, kind of happy to see a plea deal. I think that's just better for the family. Shit, it's probably better for the whole state not to have to go through this whole fucking thing. So yeah, there's that. But while we're in the courtroom, while we're talking about that, I didn't have this on the docket, but they in the Sean, in the P Diddy Sean Combs case, they are doing deliberations. It has been a dramatic ride the whole way, ups and downs all around. I know we haven't covered any of the juicy tidbits. I kind of sprinkled here and there. I think on this one, just like we kind of have gotten used to doing, we'll try to do a big recap when we get a verdict in. So that'll be interesting for sure. Lots to talk about on that for sure. But yeah, we have one more story that I wanted to cover, and then I'll go ahead and let you go. But yeah, life is but a dream until you go overboard. Anyway, let's go ahead and take our last break and we'll close it out. Okay, I'm glad I haven't done too much wincing, so that's good. Maybe we're gonna make it. Maybe I'm gonna I'm on the mend. I don't know. Ow. Never mind. Ow. I do think it's funny. A good chunk of my friends, they go, Isaiah, I've never seen you mad. I've never even seen you upset. And I think a big part of that is because I like to try to wind myself as tight as I can when I'm out and about in public. I try not to make a scene. I try not to be too messy. I try to just be funny, light, jovial. That's my default face state, of course. But I think the people who really get to know me, who've really been in the trenches with me, week in or week out, they've seen it. They've definitely seen it. Maybe even sadly, unfortunately, felt it a bit, because sometimes, I gotta, crash out a bit. But I'm trying. I'm trying so hard, y'all, to be better, to do better. That's why I'm really licking my wounds in such a bad way, because I'm like, man, you just didn't need to do this. You just gotta be better. You're only gonna get older. You're only gonna get more frail. You can't keep doing this, man. And also, it's bad, you just gotta handle your problems better. And I'm talking to myself here. This is a message to me. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's close this thing out. We got a man overboard situation here. Mr. Mob, I learned today. That's a code word that they use when there is a person overboard. So thank you, USA Today, for letting me know that. Child reportedly fell overboard on Disney cruise. Her dad jumped in after her. This is like a Disney movie. Goddamn. A horrifying moment aboard a Disney cruise line ship turned into an unbelievable rescue at sea after a child fell overboard and her father leapt in after her. The June 29th incident occurred as the Disney Dream was returning to Fort Lauderdale from a four-night Bahamian sailing. That's a fun little mouthful. Including a stop at Disney's Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point, as first reported by The Street. The emergency code Mr. Mob, or Man Overboard, rang out over the ship's intercom, signaling an urgent response. The crew aboard the Disney Dream swiftly rescued two guests from the water. I love that they call them guests. That's fun. A Disney Cruise Line spokesperson told USA Today in a statement, "We commend our crew members for their exceptional skills and prompt actions, which ensured the safe return of both guests to the ship within minutes. We are committed to the safety and well-being of our guests, and this incident highlights the effectiveness of our safety protocols." So yeah, this is pretty major. It's a quick little, rescue there. I kind of didn't read the story till I got home, so I wasn't sure. I'm like, oh my God, did they both die? And sadly, sometimes I'll see like a random reel or something like that of someone falling overboard or something like that. And my dumbass is just too lazy to even like do the research on that and like figure out what happened in that story. So I was really glad in this one that I was able to be like, okay, no, we do have a resolution and it's a good one. It's not bad. I'm technically kind of giving you some good news to close out here. Actually, it's technically a double dose. We got a guilty verdict. And we got a rescue. So there we go. And, I think this is a good guilty verdict in terms of the Kohberger thing. I definitely think he did that shit. He did the stabby. Anyway, that is where we will close this out, though. I mean, there's more details like we don't know how the kid was able to go overboard in the situation. There is like plexiglass safety barriers to supposedly keep this from happening. I don't know. Maybe, we'll come back and find out there. But I guess I should also add, very valiant. Obviously, it's your kid. That's what you hope and expect to do. But that's like, wow, like he just instinctively was like, I gotta save my kid. Like that's good that they both came back alive and they're safe and well. So there you go. That's good. That's where we're gonna leave it for the day. That's gonna be the episode. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/ZaNews. Become a newsie today. We are doing the roll call soon. We are doing the top of the month, July roll call. Get in while you can. I shout you out. I plug a project if you like. Let's see here. Free ways to hit me up. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to me. Subscribe to the channel. YouTube at Isaiah News. I think you can find it that way. Or you can just Google Isaiah News YouTube. I'm sure Google will get you there. But yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow on TikTok. You can do that too. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Apple Podcasts. Those are all good for numbers. Those are all good for algorithm. Those are all good for helping you keep up with me, the podcast guy, the host. Yeah. Let's see here. Hit the like button, especially if you're doing the YouTube thing. Hit that like button. Leave a cool comment. Don't leave a whack comment. This is me being doing a complete aside here. I deleted and blocked a person today over the dumbest shit. I posted a picture of me at the gym. And, it's just some chill shit. It's just me about to lift some weights, trying to be cool, okay? Why does motherfucker say, why your socks so tight? Yeah, that motherfucker got blocked. Don't leave shitty comments like that, you fucking asshole. Fuck you, man. Fuck that guy. Fuck that person. Whatever. Anywho, leave a cool comment, and I'll leave it. I'll like that shit, and you won't get blocked. It'll be super fucking cool. It'll be super nice. It'll be a super fun interaction for everyone. Sharing's caring. It can be fun. Try it out. You don't have to, though. I really just appreciate you listening. Just being a chill guy. And if you think my socks are too tight, that's okay. If you didn't like the episode, that's also okay. You can just keep that to yourself, and that's all right. And then everybody wins. And you just go, oh, I should have just pressed stop a long time ago and just moved on with my life. But, it'll be all good, and we'll be so happy. We'll both be so happy. Anyway, I'm in the weeds. Who cares? Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.